Hello, I am John Storey, and this here is my audience. Now, one of the problems we are facing today as a society is an energy crisis. Coal power plants are producing far too many pollutants, and the other renewable and safe energies are just not as reliable as we need them to be. Nuclear energy is going to be the best chance that we have of creating a reliable, safe, and clean source of energy, at least until we figure out how to optimize the clean and renewable energies. Now, when I say clean, if we look at this diagram here, coal is very much the worst when releasing CO2 emissions. Nuclear is only beat out in its low emissions by wind energy. If you ever see a nuclear power plant, you'll see white steam rising from it. No pollutants in that whatsoever. People are worried that there's radiation in the water, when in truth, there is very little radiation at all, and the radiation quickly disperses from water. There's no runoff of any toxic materials when it comes to nuclear energy, so no runoffs from the plant are a problem, nor is there need for CO2 catchers at the top of the nuclear plants. Now, nuclear energy is much more reliable than the other cleaner sources of energy, such as wind and solar. Solar power plants require a lot of solar radiation in order to function at their intended use, meaning that they need to be hit almost, the number of hours need to be hit by it often exceed that which happened in the spring, winter, and fall months. So over 3/4 of the year, it's not exactly reliable. Wind turbines, if not hit by the right winds or even in the right direction, aren't generating enough energy. With nuclear energy, it is just the uranium reacting to boil water, which rises up as steam to turn the turbine. It doesn't matter what the weather is, what the climate is, it'll function anywhere around the globe. Now, when I said safe, some people try to point out that with nuclear energies, well, what happened with Fukushima, what happened with Chernobyl? The problems with those is that they were handled improperly in other instances that had very little to do with the nuclear energy itself. In Chernobyl, it was inexperienced operators handling outdated machinery as well as very flawed machinery. In Fukushima, the problem with it and the radiation that occurred from it didn't have to do with the facility itself, but rather the flood walls, which had their funding cut 2 years prior. When handled properly, very little radiation that is harmful to humans will ever be released in a nuclear plant in its entire use. The spent uranium rods are then put into these type of containers, completely concealed in concrete and kept away from underground water sources and other sources where it would be harmful of the radiation leaking. And there have been very few noted radiation leaks from these sites when there is constant upkeep. To summarize, nuclear energy is the safest, the cleanest, and the most reliable source of energy out there for now, at least until we learn how to perfect the other sources of energy, such as wind and solar. Thank you.